And now, this grass are really, it's a good venture because actually it has good profits. So I was able to expand. You know, I'm leasing this farm. It is a 10-acre, you know, farm. So, and we make our own seeds out of this. So ideally, it is not that expensive to keep grass. So, and partnership as well with our local and farm, you know, landowners.
Basi ukulima wa Boma Roads has to be the simplest venture and low maintenance you will ever come by. Andrew anatueleza mchakato mzima na njia 3 tofauti ya kufanikisha ukulima huu. Mazao hapa pia huja kwa njia 2. Nyasi yenyewe ambayo hukaushwa kuwa hay, na pili zao la mbegu. Very self-sustaining.
You need to fence that piece of land like what I did. You see it is fenced. And then you need to till depending on the condition of the farm. After maybe a week, you do harrow. If it doesn't have any weed, if it has, you have to spray some weed chemical just to make sure that it is clean. Then you need to plant, to prepare for planting. If you don't have seed and you have a shamba that has seed, it is very simple to produce seed. I'll take you through as well. Then you must do good harrowing just to make sure the farm is okay and ready to receive seeds. We normally have 3 types of planting methods. One, we have broadcasting, just by manually putting the seeds in a gunia, and you know, you just mwaga around the farm. That's one. Number 2, it's through mechanical. We have a wheat planter, and in Narok we have a lot of wheat planters. We just pour seed and, you know, broadcast as well. And lastly, we have something called fertilizer spreader. So that is the best because it is efficient and it speeds up the work. So seed, you see now this grass has mature. And for you to tell that the grass has mature, you'll find out that in the farm there are one or at least a few that are shedding off the seeds. That tells you that the grass has mature. So there's difference between these ones that are shed and the one that haven't shed. So this will tell you that it has, it's matured. So you come and cut the seed using a knife. So as you cut the seed, you need to keep them in a warm place, just to make sure that it will be able to be warm, so that it will loosen up. Then you keep in the warm room maybe for 5 to 7 days. Then thereafter you need to air it in the sun and start now, you know, plucking them out. Unaigongesha, then seeds zinatoka. Yeah. Manually. Then that's not the last process. Then you make sure that you dry them properly. Then you sieve. You sieve because it will be having these sticks. Yeah. So you sieve them properly to remain with the seeds only. Then you store in a very, very nice place that does not have any weight or, you know, yeah.
Basi Boma Roads ikiwa nyasi isiyohitaji any special requirements kunawiri, Andrew chini ya 1 Acre Nyasi Campaign wanatumahi kuhamasisha wafugaji wa mifugo katika arid and semi-arid areas ya nchi hii kukuza nyasi hii kama food security measure kwa mifugo kiangazi kikibisha, na mchakato ni rahisi mno.
As soon as you plant, maybe after a week you can broadcast. You can use a DAP fertilizer just to top dress.
Also there is fertilizer involved?
Yes, but small quantities. Grass really does not need fertilizer. Like you see, everywhere has grass, natural grown grass. Yeah. So it doesn't really need a lot or consume a lot of fertilizer. But because it is commercially and you want grass to be so big, because you need number of belts to increase, you need to apply a small fertilizer. Then this grass will take up to 5 months for the first season, just to be ready for harvesting. And along the way, we will find that some farm has weed inside. We use a chemical called 2,4-D, just to, it's a selective, so it won't interfere grass, but it will, you know, harass the weeds from the farm. You see the farm is very clean, does not have any weed around. So again, this grass has a capacity to withstand weeds. So weed cannot grow when this grass, mature up. It will never grow anymore. Then, so before you harvest seed, actually before you harvest bells, you start cutting, you should at least harvest seed. And for you to be guaranteed that you have the best seed, you only harvest the seed that are a farm that is too old. Yeah, 2 years old. Beyond that, those seeds are bad, because you experience many people outside they are selling seed as well. But until you get a trusted farm where you can get to access the history of the farm, if it is more than 2 years, the germination rate of the seed is very low, and many farmers are disappointed and actually feel like grass will not grow in some places, yet they are buying seeds, the wrong seed that has been stayed maybe more than 2 years. Yes, this grass is a drought resistant, and it can grow close to every part of this country. So we have actually an organization called Twende Shambani campaign that we are trying to see whether, especially the ASALs, the arid and semi-arid lands in Kenya, will at least have an access of an acre of this grass, because it will help me.
Shamba la Boma Roads litazidi kukupa mazao kufikia miaka 7, huku ukivuna mara 3 kwa mwaka. Talk of one-off investment. Basi kuvuna kunafanyika wakati wa kiangazi, punde tu nyasi zinapoanza kushed off.
When you see the grass has started shedding off, that is a sign of maturity. And we harvest when there is no rainfall, at least that period. We normally use a mower to cut the grass, and then it stays in the farm for the next 2 days before you start baling them. So we use a baler to bale the hay now. So then you bale, then you take to the store and make sure that it has not accessed any rainfall or water anywhere.
So
because
what is an enemy of this business?
you don't harvest when it is raining. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because this grass will be compressed by a baler, and it will be very warm. So all of them will rot at the end of the day. So you take to the store and it will rot completely. Yeah.
All right. Baada ya mapumziko tutaelekea upande wa pili, where the harvested rods are dried into hay bales. Kitu ambacho sana kimekubalia kama mapambo juu na zaidi ya kuwa chakula cha mifugo. Usiende mbali.
The skills you develop and the drive you develop is what matters. Because once you get your opportunity, no one will give you the next level. You have to fight for it.
Young people who are in the education system, they are the very lucky people, because you have a card that can speak for you. I am a student. Can I do this? I am a student. Can I do this? You have a card that can speak for you.
But the ones who are going to live through this country for the next 50 years. And it's something that needs to be fixed today. And so I think the ones who should be championing in terms of having a better country and pushing for equality is young people.
The parents probably went to school in 1980, 1962. During those times you had a degree, you are a provincial administrator. Immediately. Yes. Right now, I cannot imagine how many mathematicians graduated last year December. I cannot imagine.
And so we need to realize that the situation is dire. And sometimes even our office WhatsApp group, we get DMs of people crying because they are jobless. And it's depressing to the point where they're telling you they are going to commit suicide.
We would not be having this conversation if 20 years ago, the nation had this conversation about what work would look like.
Right, on this particular program. The hashtag to use as always is hashtag YouthConnect, and my name as always is Eugene Adnangwe. Josephine Ouko is actually helping us to interpret this through sign language.
Karibu tena mtazamaji. Baada ya miezi mitano ya subira shambani na hatimaye kuvuna Boma Roads, Andrew anatueleza jinsi bale hizi zinaishia kuwa a finished product and ready for the market sokoni.
We have stayed in the farm for 2 days after being mowed. Now we bale it up. So this is just one of the bales. It weighs around an average of 15 kgs. So this grass normally are being taken to a store, as you see one of our workers is doing, for storage reasons. So we store in a very good place that does not have any, cannot access any wet or water. Bela is so much automated that you can only set 10, 12, 15 kgs. So it's more or less automated. You just ought to set the bela, and depending on the size and the number of kgs you want to. Yeah. Normally for commercial reasons, we normally like baling around 13 kilos, because a lorry, like for example an FH, will do around 500 bales. Yeah, because it will be a bit large, it won't carry a lot. Yeah.
So talk to us about the commercial part, Sasa. How does the money come in? How do you sell?
Now, so we normally sell this bale. A bale costs 200 shillings, and when it is being bought in the farm. But when we ferry, we normally ferry to as much as Kericho, we do Githunguri, Nairobi, Kajiado, and so forth. So prices vary, depend on the location. Maximum it can go, it is 250 a bale. So an acre can make you around 20,000 per season. Then for the entire year, you can make 100k. Yeah. In a year. For a single acre.
1 acre.
1 acre.
Haya basi, hesabu zetu za shambani zianze. Ekari moja kila msimu wa kuvuna itakupa kati ya shilingi 20,000 na shilingi 30,000. Na utavuna mara 3 kwa mwaka. Hiyo ni takriban 100,000 kwa eka moja peke yake. Eka 10 je? Na tusisahau zao la mbegu.
For 10 acres you comfortably have 1 million thereabout. Yeah.
Okay, talk to us now about the seed.
Now, before we mow the Boma Road grass, we ought to harvest seed first. So this is the seed after you took the entire processes. That is, this is the ready seed now. After you actually took to the steps I told you earlier. So these are seed, they are ready. And we normally harvest them in not more than 2 years old farm. So these seed are ready and of high quality. So a bag like this will only plant an acre. This 6 kgs, it's being weighed. So we normally pack a whole sack for 12 kilos. That is for 2 acres. Normally, there are people who come all the way to come and buy, especially the dairy groups. They normally come to our farm and buy. And we have lorries as well. We ferry to different locations, especially to where they can be able to plant hay because of scarcity of land. And in dry season, we normally keep them for dry season. But you notice, farmers are discovering that this grass has high nutrient content for dairy cattle. So if they feed this one, they notice that the yield increase. So it doesn't really wait until it's dry season. So you notice that we sell throughout the year because now they use this to feed the animals. So cows do feed, horses, and some people normally come and buy maybe to take for events.
Kwa kwa kile kwa kizungu tunaita shelf life, nilitaka kujua bale hizi hudumu kwa muda upi na ni nini kinachohitaji kuzingatiwa na mkulima anapohifadhi mazao ya Boma Roads.
It can stay this way so long as it does not receive a lot of heat or sunlight. It can stay for almost 1.5 years. Yeah, and it's still being consumed. And again, you should be able to harvest at the right time, because if you harvest when it is old, it won't stay for long. One, you need to have a store, and you see we have a lot there. And now you need to have at least a good store for you to be able to sell at the right time. So a big challenge is stock, because we don't experience any disease. And again, you need to time it up so that you can harvest at the right time to avoid damages and rotting. So you need to harvest when it is, there is sufficient light, sunlight. We are trying to ferry them into a centralized location so that we can be able to pick it up with a lorry to our main store, where farmers will normally come and pick them. And we are trying to cover some, just in case any rainfall will fall anytime, we are secure and safe.
Kwa kawaida, kila mkulima wa wiki hapa Twende Shambani hutupa wasia wa kutuongoza tunapofanya maamuzi ya ukulima. Na Andrew si mpungufu wa mawaidha, haswa tunapozungumzia cost reduction. Ukulima huu wa Boma Roads ni suluhisho zaidi ya tosha kwa wakulima wa mifugo.
This will reduce a cost to a level of 30%, because now we have enough fodder that being grown. So this is pure, close to zero cost, as I can say, and we can be able to feed them as much as we can, just to make sure that they reach market levels throughout the year. So we can sell and buy other stocks and resell again within a very short period. Yes, so we've One Acre Nyasi campaign is actually training out youth women so that they can be able to harvest seeds and be able to plant them. So we use purely women and youth to do our activities. So, and again, beside this, we are encouraging people to start keeping at least dairy cattle, because now we have sufficient fodder. So we train them and encourage them on how to start small. My advice is let youth come out and try these, because actually outside there, Mashambani, there are many opportunities. Like grass, you will not really need a lot of capital, because many of them complain that you need capital to be able to start. Capital is, you need, it's not really capital intensive, as I can say. So I can encourage many youth outside there, they can come, we can help them even get a small shamba, like even a single and even 1 acre, just to start. As I told you, we have an initiative that we want to collaborate with youth, women, and county government, especially those in the arid and semi-arid lands, to have at least access of 1 acre, so that they can change their lives.
Basi kwa kweli nafasi katika kilimo biashara ni nyingi mno. Inakuhitaji tu kuwa na lile jicho la undani. Andrew amezungumzia ukulima wa Boma Roads ukikuletea faida ya takriban 100,000 kwa mwaka. Na hiyo ni ekari moja. Tukizungumzia ekari 10 tunaongea kuhusu takriban milioni 1 pesa taslimu. Kwa hivyo asante sana kwa kutazama kipindi cha Twende Shambani. Remember to always make your hay when the sun shines, kama vile Andrew anavyofanya quite literally kutoka kaunti ya Narok. Tunasema asante. Asante sana, tukutane Jumapili ijayo. Twende shambani.
The skills you develop and the drive you develop is what matters.